الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم. Allah is talking about the people. This is in Surah Al Imran, Ayah 173. Said, people came to them, the hypocrites, they wanted to scare them. The hypocrites were the ones that invited the enemies to come and attack them in Mecca. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادهم إيمانا وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Miracles of the Quran. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin Sayyidina Mohammed wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. I'm glad you made it here again. The last time we met, I told you a personal story about how the Quran impacted my life, how I was saved from being sold into slavery. Today, I want to tell you how it happened to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from whom we learned that super prayer after it was used by his great-great-great-great-grandfather, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. So it so happened that in Medina, when the Muslims, the early Muslims and the Prophet ﷺ, when they migrated from Mecca to Medina, when they got to Medina, the people of Mecca still wouldn't let them be. They still wanted to go and fight them. As a matter of fact, they want to do, ethnic cleansing of the Muslims. They wanted to get rid of all the Muslims. Anyway, first battle fought. The Muslims won. That was the Battle of Badr. And the second battle, the Muslims almost lost because they did not do what the Prophet ﷺ told them to. That was the Battle of Uhud. Fast track to the Battle of the Trenches, the Battle of Khandak. This was a great battle that really got the Muslims worried, the Muslims in Medina. Now the Meccans went and, cooperated with other tribes, other Arab tribes, and they formed a huge army. This time around, they were determined to annihilate, or to destroy the Muslims and remove them from the surface of the earth. So they came to Medina. But words got to the Prophet ﷺ before they even set out from Mecca. He was informed by inspiration, by Allah's grace. So he started meeting with his disciples, the companions. What are we going to do? It's a huge army coming. It's not like the Battle of Badr. It's not like the Battle of Uhud. This is huge. So many nations, so many tribes have come together cooperating with the Meccans to come and destroy them in Medina. The Prophet ﷺ was not only worried for the Muslims, he was worried for Medina, the host country or the host nation that has accepted them, that has allowed them to come to migrate to their nation. Now, danger is coming to that town or to that city or to that nation. So, one of the Prophet's companions, known as Salman al-Farisi, the Persian Salman of Persia, he came up with this idea that was a novel idea to the Arabs. It's a brand new idea, they never heard of it. He advised that a huge trench should be dug around Medina, so huge and so wide that no horse can scale it, jump through it and get to the Muslims. Anyone that tried it would fall into the trench. And it was a huge success. But you know where they got the inspiration from? From Allah Azza wa Jalla, who inspired the Prophet ﷺ to use that prayer again. الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم. Allah is talking about the people. This is in Surah Al Imran, Ayah 173. Said, people came to them, the hypocrites, they wanted to scare them. The hypocrites were the ones that invited the enemies to come and attack them in Mecca. And they are the ones scaring the Muslims and the Prophet, or intending to scare them. الذين قال لهم الناس, those that people told, إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم. People have gathered against you. Nations have gathered against you, and they are coming to destroy you. You better be afraid. فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا. But what happened to the Muslims? Led by the Prophet ﷺ, their faith increased, and they said, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for us. And so they went into action. They dug the trench. It was huge, it was wide, it was deep. And when the enemies came, they tried to scale, to jump through it, and they kept falling into the ditch, into the trench. And then they decided, okay, we're going to just lay ambush. We're going to be here until they get tired of hiding. They will need to come out, go buy food, go buy supplies and all. We will wait no matter how long it took. And it took a long time. Some scholars said about 2-3 months, and the Meccans were there, you know, all their camps set up and everything. And then the Muslims continued to pray. And the enemies from within, the Jews in Medina, had connived with the enemies from without, the Meccans, that they could come from the back, which was against their agreement with the Prophet ﷺ. But then words got to the Prophet again, and he went and had a very stern and serious discussion with the Jews, and they regretted doing that. They knew that the plan has failed, because now the Prophet knew and the Muslims knew, and if anything happens to them, I mean, the backlash will be to the Jews. Then Allah manifested His power, and the miracle began with tornado or hurricane, whatever you want to call it. Huge wind started blowing, and it blew off all the tents of the enemy. And you know, the campfires that they had went on top of their tents, and everything was on fire, and they dispersed. You know, in desperation, in fear, they all ran away. And the Confederates started blaming each other. You Meccans, why did you bring us to this failure and this and that? And that was how the Muslims won the battle. Now I'm asking you, what battle do you have in your life that you feel is too much for you to handle? Call upon Allah, as the Prophet ﷺ did, with this simple dua, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. And say it from the bottom of your heart, that truly Allah is sufficient for me. No matter what the challenge, no matter what the battle, Allah is sufficient for me. And get what the result was. فَانْقَلَبُوا بِنِعْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَفَضْلٍ لَمْ يَمْسَسْهُمُ السُّوءُ وَاتَّبَعُوا رِضْوَانَ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ ذُو فَضْلٍ عَظِيمٍ. Allahu Akbar. Allah said, they, you know, from being afraid of this war, from, you know, anticipating what could happen, they were transformed. The Muslims were transformed to victory. Fadli min Allah. Lam yamsasuhum su. No evil, not even a scratch came to them. They went through the fire of that war, just like our father Ibrahim alayhi salatu salam went through the fire for 3 days and 3 nights and came out of it unscathed. The Muslims came out of that war unscathed. The enemies fled. They flew away. They ran away. And Allah granted the Muslims that victory. So I'm telling you, my sister, my brother, no matter what you're going through, if people are telling you, oh, they are coming, they're going to catch you, they're going to arrest you, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, tell them, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Say it like you mean it. As a matter of fact, mean it from the bottom of your heart, and watch miracle happen. And so I'm inviting you to come tell your story on this show. This is Ganiat Akorede. This is my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. I welcome you once again. I thank you for joining. Please don't forget to hit the notification button or bell, or that bell, so that when a new video is coming out, you'll be the very first to know about it. We really want to hear from you. We want your comments. We want your thoughts about this. And most importantly, I want to hear your miracle story as the Quran impacts your life. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Kareem. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. And thank you for subscribing if you already have. If you have not, then go ahead and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be amongst the very first to know when our next video drops. And in case you have a wonderful story to tell about, miracle of the Quran or how it happens to you, please drop it in the comment section. We'd like to share your story with the world, and we'd like to get connected to you.